A few projects are going to need some 1x2s, and since this project that I'm working on now takes them, I just decided to cut some down in different lengths for some stock and work from there. 2x4s of various lengths, so I figured my biggest bang for the buck would be to cut them down into 1x2s and minimize the amount of waste that's involved and get a lot of lumber out of them. I got about, I think I want to say I got 4 out of each piece, so that's a pretty good deal. Okay, here's the first phase of the sides. There's 2 long rails and 3 uprights, and they're put it together to make sure that everything is square. Next will be to fill these areas in, and on the other side with 2x4s with square ends against each side, and it'll keep it from twisting. I'm sorry, use 1x2s instead of 2x4s, and it'll keep it from twisting. Okay, the next step, of course, is going to be we fill it in, adding these pieces. As you can see, they're empty. And then once these are all done, then we'll flip over and we'll do the same thing to the other side. It will be the equivalent of it having a 2x2 frame, but with it being laminated like that, it's going to be much stronger and much more apt not to wreck and vibrate, because it's like having a half-lapped 2x2 frame with probably about the same amount of work. Who knows? But on to the next one. Okay, here's what the other side looks like, and I'm going to fill these in with 1x2s also, and then it'll be like a laminated 2x2 frame. And there's the side frame complete. It looks like a 2x2. This is the tool of importance today. I've been blowing away a lot of pocket holes, using a lot of pocket hole screws too, and I'll show you in just a second. Oh, okay, so we let the frame dry overnight, and now I'm going to put in the cross braces, and I'm going to put those in with pocket holes. The pocket holes are going to face outward, which is okay because this is a shop tool, and that'll ensure that the screw drives into the meat of the wood. Because of its location, I'm going to have to remove the outside screw so that it doesn't hamper with my pocket hole. But that's okay because I'm going to use 2-inch holes, 2-inch pocket hole screws into this, and it's actually going to go through both the of these 2 1x2s and this one here, and it's going to hold everything all together. This is the front face. This is the top and bottom over here. So we're oriented and we're looking at it like this, which is how I would look at most of my cabinet work. But because of the size, it's going to be so small, I couldn't put the upright up and down. So I had to go in crossways. So this is going to support the shelf also. The thing about it is, the reason why I'm bringing it up now is because I know earlier I was talking about this being an upright and crossright and stuff like that. And that's all what it normally is for most cabinet work that I do, because I have a centerpiece that goes up and down usually. But this one's so small, we have to go this way with it. So hope that doesn't confuse you any more than it has me. Anyway, we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So now we got all the uprights, or cross pieces, I'm sorry, cross pieces in, the 1x2s, and now across the bottom of the bottom one and the center showing, and across the top of the top, I'm using 1x3 stringers that I'm also going to hold it in with pocket hole screws. And what's going to happen is that, let's see if I can get a little bit of an angle here. We're going to seat the shelving in here. It's going to be a little bit of a lip on both of these, and that's on purpose so that stuff like the vacuum cleaner won't go sliding out of it as we're moving stuff around. Okay, so there's the frame basically completed. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sand down some of the high spots, make it kind of even and level it out a little bit looking, and fill in the exposed pocket holes like in the front and the back, and sand that all down. And then I think I'm going to run the router around and kind of round off the edges where you're going to be putting your hands through, like to get into stuff, because it get some of the sharp edges down. And then after that, it'll be cutting and fitting the shelving in. My table saw valet works real good double time here, and has a little stand to hold my project up while I'm working on it. It's just the right height. Got the dowels glued and shoved in, and I'm waiting for them to dry. I give them about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll cut them flush, and I'll show you the tool I'm going to use for cutting them. I had a split over here, and even though I used self-drilling screws, it still split it. So I'm gluing that split back together. That just make it look pretty. After that dries, I'll end up gluing sanding it all down, kind of leveling it out a little bit. Let me show you that tool that I'm going to be using to cutting this down. I'm using this is a Harbor Freight, I don't even know what the heck they call these things, oscillating tools or something like that. And they've got these flush cutting bits. I get a wide one like that, so this way I can cut across the whole angle at one pass, and it gives a pretty nice cut. I usually try to leave it a little bit on the high side, so this way then I can sand it down flush. Well, there it is, just about all completed. All I got to do now is mount the stuff on there. I edge banded the top and rounded them over, and put a little bit of a sealer on it, a rub-on polyurethane, and I think it come out pretty nice. Dun, 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 dun. Be careful, because that's going to start glaring.
And I can chop off the top of your head.
That's okay. Everybody knows what the top of my head is. I got a new what the heck they call that? Oh, I got a new camera stand in training. My most beautiful and loving wife is operating it today, and so that means I'm gonna probably have to give her a raise. Anyway, I had some video problems. I think my camera that I got is going out because it was real screwy. I had like about 5 or 6 different things that I did, and it didn't work. So we're going to have to see about this. So I wanted to do a little recap. Since the last time that we were together, even though it's all put together already, I had taken and I put a shellac finish on it, sanded it all down, leveled everything all out, and then went ahead and cut and installed the plywood shelves. Those are 1/2-inch plywood shelves, and they're pretty sturdy. And they actually fit on the first cut. Whoa. And then I mounted a 3/4-inch piece of plywood on top, edge banded it, put little roundy overs in it, and ran a 1/2-inch round over on the end, sanded it all down, and then finished it with some rub-on polyurethane, so it's got a real nice coating on it. It's so good that everything's smearing. My 2 dogs are smearing. Oh man. Anyway, so it's working real good. Let me show you. One of the things that we ran into, I had to shorten the hose that was originally on it because it was coming out like this. I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a right angle here so that it comes straight, a little bit straighter down so it's closer in. Or I may just do that. I don't know yet. The hardest part of this whole thing was putting nails in it. But I ran the cord all the way back down into the back, use a 3-way power cord in the back, and we've got my dust extractor, back in the can, whatever I want to call it, and the other unit, the saw plugged in, and I ran this out to the front. It has enough length on it that I can actually use it as a power cord, or I can bring this guy out here, but it works pretty good inside here like this. Well, it did. Okay, it works good like that, and I just lift my leg up a little bit. And then there's a cord for the switch. It vibrates a little bit more than it did when it was sitting on that, but that's so massive. You know, that thing's like 500 pounds. So, as this thing stands, it holds up pretty good. There's a few things that I'd like to do to it. I think I'm going to add some drawers in over here. Maybe out the front, although the hose gets in the way, so I think I'm going to have them so they come out over here. Everything's kind of on the left side over this way on this thing because I'm left-handed. And yes, I could have made it shorter and actually a little bit narrower, but I wanted it to be, it's pretty stable this way. And then the wheels will lock. If I find the ones that lock. Okay. The wheels lock, and so it locks it up. So this way I'm not chasing it all the way around. Although, as you'll see, it does cut good. Cuts real good. And we'll go on to the next one. So hey, if you like what you saw, hit the little thumbs up. If you didn't like what you saw, hit the little thumbs down. But let me know what you didn't like. Maybe we can try to help improve it. If you have any questions, comments, or complaints, go ahead and put it down in the comment section. I try to answer every comment. If you want to see more of this good, neat, interesting stuff, go ahead and hit the hit the subscribe button. And if you hit the little bell that's next to it, it'll actually notify you every time I put one up. Since I put these up in the middle of the night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, your phone's probably going to go off on an email or a text message at the middle of the night. So you might want to, let me think about that one. But that's a good way to know, and you could be one of the first ones of the many millions that watches. You'll be one of the first ones to catch it. And you have something to talk about at work. Anyway, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.